on the brink of bankruptcy, lawmakers are looking at creative ways to come up with some extra dough. The watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski, is weighing in this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, well, this is kind of a fun topic because it seems like, states are dealing with money issues, so they have to raise some funds, and they're looking at interesting ways to do this, some interesting taxes. So we will break down what some of those are this morning. Now, as we know, last week, Oakland, California started taxing medical marijuana. Yeah, what do you think about this?
I think the states are going to go anywhere and everywhere that they possibly can. There was actually a story last week. It didn't get much press, actually. The state of Delaware wanted to actually start legalizing sports gambling, and all the major sports leagues wanted to sue Delaware because they didn't want them to get involved with doing that there in the state. So you're going to see expansions based upon gambling. You're going to see expansions maybe in lottery, various different things where the government collects more capital.
Yeah, because there's actually 19 states that are looking at gambling taxes, and also I know that Georgia was even thinking about taxing gentlemen, patrons to those gentlemen's clubs, like kind of a poll tax.
Poll tax. That's no pun intended. Good, very good. I like that. Poll tax.
A poll tax.
How are they going to go about collecting that, though?
I don't know. Some sort of cover charge, maybe?
I guess so. I have no idea. But is it by the lap dance? How does it work?
I think yes. Kia just said entrance fee. It's like kind of a cover fee. Once you get into the club, hand over some cash.
Well, you heard about the Botox deal, right?
Yes, to raise money for health care reform.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. There's an all-too-new powerful lobby in Washington, D.C. It's called the Cougar Lobby. They're very much against it. The Cougar Lobby is very much against going after the Botox.
The Cougar Lobby?
The Cougar Lobby.
Please. All right, because they were talking about a 10% tax on cosmetic surgeries such as facelifts, tummy tucks, hair transplants, and you're saying this ain't going to happen.
Well, they proposed it, and I guess got pushed by the wayside. I mean, we crack jokes about the Cougar Lobby, but once again, we've tried this before. George H. Bush, W. Bush, went and he actually tried to put a huge tax on boats. This was back in the 1990s, and what happened was people stopped buying boats because of the luxury tax on it. What they're afraid happening is they're going to do this, and people are going to stop doing it, and then it's going to hurt the economy even greater. Well,
this is one of my favorite ones. I got to read it here. In Wisconsin, the governor, for his 2010 budget, says that he wants to triple the price of elk hunting, the license for elk hunting, except they don't even have an elk hunting season.
Well, I'm glad he's in tune with the state there. That's great.
Exactly.
It's fantastic. Yeah, we're going to get more of this stuff. Yeah, let's go after people who go fishing. I mean, it's just nonsense. More ways to try to raise revenue rather than try to cut the cost of the state is what we really need to have happen.
And how do you think states will do this?
Very carefully. I guess we need to put people in various different positions. They're going to say enough is enough. I mean, when things are going great, we spend and we spend and we spend, and we want all these various different things, but we can't afford them. It's very much like humans do.
With many states on the brink of bankruptcy, lawmakers are looking at creative ways to come up with some extra dough. The watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski, is weighing in. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Okay, so states are getting creative. They got to come up with some extra money. So they're talking about taxing a lot of things.
Yeah, they're getting creative. They're trying different avenues, but it's basically, like Roger Doctor said, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. They're going after people. They're trying to find new ways of taxing people. We can go back to when the slippery slope started with the cigarette taxes, which was big. I think right now in New York City, it's close to $10 for a pack of cigarettes. The state of New Jersey...
That's so high.
The state of New Jersey, believe it or not, the state of New Jersey has issued bonds. They've done it in the past. Issued bonds based upon revenue that they're going to get from tobacco. And basically what they're creating now is a whole other smuggling ring. So people are trying to find different ways of getting their cigarettes and going to various different Indian reservations and whatnot. You're going to continue to see more and more and more of this.
Well, I mean, you brought up New York. They're talking about a soda tax because they say that, soda drinkers, there's so many obese people in this country, and soda has a lot to do with that. So taxing pop.
Well, soon it's going to be ice cream, cookies, cake, whatever it may be, and they're going to say this is going to solve the obesity problem. I'm sorry, everything in life in moderation is okay, and people who are in shape happen to like ice cream too. Why should they have to pay a higher tax on it? They're going to make up every excuse in the entire world right now, the government is, to try to go about raising revenues. They're going to say, well, you're a burden on society, and if you take this product, you're a burden on society, so we're going to tax you. Well, if it was such a deadly product, why don't you just remove it? Make it illegal. Another can of ice cream, cookies, cake, tobacco, beer, whatever it may be. The six-pack summit's going to have to be called off because we're going to have to tax them more. It's getting to be nonsensical.
Question, are you passionate about this issue?
taxes taxes tend to drive me a little bit zooey after a while, especially when you see these politicians and they keep spending and spending and spending. You know what? You want to raise some taxes here and there because you're in a difficult point in time? Fine. But you know what? Also make some cuts as well.
Okay, well, let's talk about this bow tax because they're trying to raise some money for health care, the health care reform bill. What do you think about this? Taxing surgeries like hair transplants, tummy tucks, facelifts.
Yeah, the funny thing is that went up on the cover of the Drudge report the other day. They're thinking about going after Botox treatments and plastic surgery and all this stuff. And they put a picture of Nancy Pelosi up there. And
she can hardly move her face.
It's a permanent wind tunnel.
She has no expression.
Yeah, the whole cougar lobby, we were joking about that in the first lobby. They're going to push that back. But when you tax something, you're going to have less of it. So what you're going to end up doing, once again, is causing less economic activity. We tried this before. They tried this with boats. The luxury tax Bush put in back in the 1990s. It didn't work. People stopped buying less boats, less economic activity. It's not the way to go.
Okay, well, Chris, thank you so much for being here this morning. We could talk about this for the whole hour. With many states on the brink of bankruptcy, lawmakers are looking at creative ways to cough up some extra dough. And here to weigh in on these creative ways is our watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski. Good morning.
They're not coughing up the dough. They're going to make us cough up the dough.
They're trying in any way they can.
Yes.
Let's put it that way. A lot of taxing. They're looking in unusual places for some money.
Well, they'll always go, and sin taxes are always a big one. I remember back in college, long time ago, we used to pay $10 for a keg party. Then they instituted a new tax in New York State. The thing went up to like $30, $40. We've got it on cigarettes. They're looking now towards soda.
They got it on strip clubs.
Yeah, I like that. The poll tax, you called it.
Tax.
The poll tax.
Yeah, out there in Georgia, they want to tax patrons to those gentlemen's club. But you mentioned the soda tax in New York. Now, talk a little bit about that.
It's just another embedded tax. I mean, they're even not even just going to go towards soda. It's going to also be bottled water as well. They're looking to go after anything and anything where they can get their hands in. And I would say this, take a look at your cell phone bill every single month, and you're going to realize at the end of the month that 33% of their bill is taxes. Now, we're being told that tax cuts on all Americans due to income taxes it's not a tax cut if we're just going to collect it from us some way, other shape or form. That's what they're doing.
Okay, and you mentioned the soda tax, and we have a big problem with obesity in this country. A recent report says, we spent $147 billion last year on medical bills for people that are overweight. So let's talk about the health bill. A lot of activity yesterday. The key congressional committee worked with conservative Dems, and they kind of have come up with a new solution to this health care reform bill. We have about 30 seconds.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
In the House, they came up with a bill where they went to lower costs about $100 billion. They also want to go...
Over 10 years.
Yes, they want to go towards nonprofit co-ops to offer insurance, but there's a long way to go. It's not going to come anyway. It's going to come through right now. It's going to have to go back. A lot of these politicians got to go back to their home districts, and they're going to hear it from their constituents about what they want to have happen.
Definitely not going to happen next month. They're saying maybe around Christmas time.
Senate, too. They got a completely different opinion on how things are working.
Okay, Chris, thank you so much.